Welcome to The Explainer. You know those corporate annual reports? They can seem super dense, maybe even a little intimidating. Well, today, we're going to crack one open and turn it into a story that actually makes sense.
So, what are these things really? Are they just a bunch of numbers that only an accountant could love? Or is there something more? A real story about where a company's been and, more importantly, where it's headed. We're going to cut through the jargon and find out.
And to do that, we need a real-world example. So we're diving into the 40th annual report from Systematix. The cool thing is, by the time we're done, you'll not only get what's going on with this company, but you'll have the tools to read pretty much any annual report.
Think about it like this. It's basically the company's official report card for its owners, the shareholders. It's the management saying, hey, here's how we did this past year. And by the way, here's what we're planning to do next, and we need you to sign off on it.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to decode the report, check out the financial scorecard, meet the people in charge, look at the big shareholder votes, and then figure out what it all means. Let's get into it.
Our goal here is pretty straightforward. We want you to feel confident enough to pick up one of these reports and know exactly where to look for the important stuff.
And where do you always start? The numbers, of course. The financial scorecard. This is where you get the hard facts, black and white on how the company's actually performing. So, how'd they do? Okay, so deep inside the report, you'll find this little summary table. We're looking at the standalone numbers, which just means it's the core company, not including any side businesses. You'll also see the numbers are in lakhs, which is an Indian unit for 100,000. Now, the two lines you really want to focus on are revenue, that's all the money that came in the door, and profit, that's what's left after you pay all the bills.
And right away, you can see a pretty clear story of growth. Revenue jumped from around 75 lakhs to over 6,800. I mean, that's a really solid increase. It tells you their main business is bringing in more money year after year.
But here's the best part. It's not just that they made more money, they kept more money. The profit also went up from just under 2,200 lakhs to over 2,300. So what does that tell shareholders? It says the company is growing for sure, but it's also being smart about its spending. That's a super healthy sign.
All right, so the numbers look good. But who's behind these numbers? Let's meet the leadership team, the people who are actually steering the ship.
You know, a company is really only as strong as the people running it. This report lays out the key players. You've got the chairman and MDs setting the vision, the CFO managing the money we just talked about. These are the folks who are ultimately responsible to the shareholders for the company's performance. Now, every annual meeting has some routine stuff, just basic corporate housekeeping. In this report, shareholders are being asked to vote on reappointing Mrs. Priyanka Khandelwal. She's a director who is retiring by rotation. Don't let the fancy term fool you. It's just a standard process where directors have to face re-election every so often. It keeps them accountable, you know.
And to help shareholders make that call, the report gives them her whole profile. You can see her qualifications, her 15-plus years of experience, how many shares she personally owns, and even her relationship with other directors. It's all about transparency, so everyone can make an informed choice.
But an annual report isn't just a history lesson. It's also about the future. And that's where you find what's called special business. These are the big, game-changing decisions that really shape where the company is headed.
And yep, in this report, there's a really big one. Item number 5 is a proposal for something called the Systematix Employee Stock Option Scheme 2025, or ESOP. Now, this is not your everyday vote. This is a major new plan, and it needs a special resolution, which basically means a supermajority of shareholders have to say yes.
So what on earth is an ESOP? It stands for Employee Stock Option Plan. And in simple terms, it's a way to give employees skin in the game. They get the right to buy company stock at a fixed price. So if the company does well and the stock price goes up, they win too. It turns them from just employees into part owners.
And what makes this particular plan so interesting is the sheer scale of it. We're talking about over 6.8 million stock options. Whoa! This isn't just a little bonus. It's a massive move to weave employee ownership right into the fabric of the company.
The report doesn't beat around the bush about why they're doing this. It's all about grabbing the best talent out there, keeping their most valuable people happy, and getting everyone on the team motivated, because their goals are now the company's goals. It's basically taking the profits we saw earlier and reinvesting them directly into their people.
Okay, let's take a step back. We've looked at the money, we've met the leaders, and we've dug into this huge strategic proposal. So what does it all mean? What's the real story this report is telling us?
Well, when you put all the pieces together, a really clear picture starts to form. You've got a company that's financially healthy and growing steadily. And what's its next big move? It's betting big on its own people with this massive ESOP, all while keeping the leadership team stable. It's a pretty compelling story.
And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? By giving employees a much bigger piece of the pie, is Systematix signaling a huge bet on its own future growth? This report card, it turns out, isn't just about last year. It's a strategic roadmap for the future. And that's the magic of learning how to read these things. You stop seeing just numbers, and you start seeing the strategy.